Well, aloha and happy new year, everybody, and welcome to this Heart to Spirit Connections, the first Heart to Spirit Connections webcast program in 2025. And it's a wonderful time to be together. And thank you all for joining me this morning. I just want to say that the Heart to Spirit Connections webcast is a program every first, get somebody else in here, every first Saturday of the month. And it's a free webcast, and I'm really grateful for your participation. You can always read about it on my website at KarinnaNielsen.com, but it's the purpose of the website of the webcast is to expand our spiritual connection um, between our hearts and the spirit guidance. Well, wait a second. There's two people. Everybody came in at once. Okay, so let's get the people in here. Aloha, everybody, and welcome. So we've got the recording going, and so I just want to say that together in every one of these webcasts, we're discovering new levels of connection between our hearts and our spiritual guidance. So how can we live in our lives with spiritual guidance and using the tools of Lemurian conscious creation and all of the energies um, of Lemuria that we, sorry, it's just distracting everybody. Boom, 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 everybody coming in. But I'm grateful. I'm really grateful to see you all. It's wonderful. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. So our topic today is how can you create new beginnings in 2025? And we're going to talk a lot about that. And what's really significant now, of course, is the numerology of the year. So we're entering into a 9-year, and people in the circles I go in have talked about this year for a long time. Because the 9 in Lemurian numerology, which you can reference my website in the Lemurian self-healing section. There's a short tutorial about the numerology, but the 9 is the number for new beginnings, completions, and new beginnings. Of course, you have to have a completion before you can have a new beginning, right? But the way I learned the numerology and the Lemurian prophecy cards is the 9 symbolizes new beginnings. And I think we see that in many ways outside of us. I certainly do, in current events or things going on in my life. New beginnings are happening now. We're gonna have a whole solar hookup on our house this year, which is going to be hooked up in January. So that's a big new beginning for us. And, I'm feeling it as well. There are things in my life that I just feel like, okay, I'm really complete with that. And I'm ready to step forward in a new way. And you might be feeling that too. And feel free to share. The chat room the chat is open, so you can always text in there. And thank you, Mahina Ku, for the Hau'oli Makahiki Ho New Year's wishes. And or just raise your hand at any time and I'll get to you. And what I'd like us to look at today is how we can create those new beginnings using the tools of Lemurian wisdom, including the 10 principles of consciously creating. So what I got over here is the book about those 10 principles. That's actually, it's an edited transcript book of the original recordings with Master Guide Kirill about the 10 principles. And if you have the book or even the ebook, you can open it up and look inside the first page, and there you'll see a letter from me to Kahu Fred Sterling from, I think it was 2001. And that is a very time when 2003. Okay, thank you. When we first started studying the 10 principles. And there's all kinds of things that you can discover about the 10 principles. This is just the basic book. And then all of these are available at signaturecellhealing.com in the resource section, the online store. There's recordings of sessions with Master Guide Carol. There's, the ebook and the book. And there's one I particularly like called Walking the Talk of the 10 Principles, which was a really beautiful session where we were all so very young and learning how to use the 10 principles. But it really is a great tutorial when you delve into the 10 principles of understanding that you are the creator, that there's no separation from you or the creator source. So that, when we get into religions and versus spirituality or anything like that, we could talk about God or creator, or any separation that we feel is meant to allow us to do this journey on earth. So when we put ourselves aside from being part of the creator force, that allows us to think that we're just human here, but we're actually a spirit having a human experience. And that human experience can be consciously created. It's true, we come in with a blueprint, and that blueprint is found in our signature cell in the pineal gland in the middle of our head. And that's why signature cell healing is so dynamic and so important. But we can consciously create how we live out that life plan. We have a choice, and we have the power to consciously create. So whatever we're experiencing, if we really choose to look at it and understand it, we can start to consciously create how we go forward. And that's so important as we get we've gotten out of the 8-year of 2024, and now we come into this 2025, this incredibly dynamic year. And the other book I have back here is The Great Shift, which was the first book from Kahu Fred Sterling and Master Guide Carol. And that, even though it was written in the 1990s, it's explaining pretty much where we are right now and why it's important that we're consciously creating what we do going forward. So let's get to a prayer before I delve too deeply. So I'm just gonna, this is one of the 10 principles, and it's a prayer of intention. And so not to be confused with, like Master Guide Carol used to say, begging or a mantra prayer. This is a prayer stating our intention for today's program. So just take some deep breaths. And that's such an important part of the conscious creation signature cell healing, is breathing in the golden particles through your crown chakra. And just inhale through your nose and allow the energy to come down through the pineal gland with the blueprint, and then draw it into your heart chakra. And then exhale through your mouth and let that light just expand from your heart. And keep taking these deep breaths as you just feel that light expanding, these golden particles of love and light. As I call upon the Creator's light, the Christ light, the Goddess weave of love, and all the beautiful energies of light that come forth now to guide us in this journey and to join us in the Heart to Spirit Connections webcast today. We're grateful for the presence of everyone here as we speak about consciously creating our experience in the year 2025 and bringing forth the 10 principles to guide our journey, including masterminding, which can allow us to set forth our intentions in love. And we ask all of this from our hearts in love. Amen. Okay, so we're going to do a meditation later, which is another of the 10 principles. But first, we want to look a little bit more at that numerology by doing what Sandra loves to do, and that's pull a Lemurian prophecy card. So Sandra, thank you always for your energy and being present here. So I have the Lemurian prophecy cards here, and it's just a regular card deck. And you can do it too. I suggest you do. I learned this from Kahu and Master Kirill, and it's a really fun way to get spiritual guidance. So if you're talking about heart to spirit connections, this is one way you can do it. So we would take the cards, and we're going to shuffle 5 times. And that's because 5 is the number for love, right? So we're going to put love in the cards, and I ask you to put your love in the cards as well. And there are 4 suits in the cards, just like we have 4 bodies: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And in this Lemurian card deck, the physical is represented by the diamonds, the hearts is the emotional body, the clubs is a mental body, and the spades is the spiritual body. And then we follow the numerology for the rest. So it's a great way to practice and to learn, and a way of you beginning to channel your own guidance and bring forth that. And you might want to do a little automatic writing after you pull the card. So here's the deck shuffled. So everybody put your energy into the prophecy cards for today. Oh, got it? And I got a card for our reading today. Ta-da! So this is I'll hold it a little closer, wait, get it close to there we go. So this is the Queen of Hearts. So I told you that the hearts is the emotional body. And the Queen is a representation of our feminine light, our goddess light. So thank you, goddess sisters, all, and everyone here for coming in on the webcast today, and those of you listening later. So we have, when it comes to the face cards, of course, we're gonna have this as number 12 as well, right? So it's a truth, trust, and passion. It's a 3. And the 3, truth, trust, and passion, are the first 3 principles of the 10 principles of consciously creating. So we got also that numerology weaving in here as well, because on the face cards, we have the Jack, we have the Queen and the King and the Ace. We count the Ace after that. So how wonderful is that? We're going to put the Queen over here. Hope we can see it. Oh, and also I have here my special Omam Karamatsu, my Japanese New Year's arrangement, which was given to me by a friend from Japan. See, it's got the little bamboo thingy and everything it needs. So he gave it to us because he always wanted us to have a Karamatsu every New Year's, and not just go out and buy one every year. We always have our little mini one that we can pull out every New Year's. So this is my Happy New Year wish to all of you, because we have a lot of we celebrate a lot of the other New Year's traditions in Hawaii, right? So getting back to the goddess light that we got there, and thank you, Sandra, for bringing forth your goddess light, and also truth, trust, and passion, which is like I said, the first 3 principles. Now, all of you should know your Lemurian life path number, which is another way of heart to spirit connections, right? So I know we have at least 2 3s in here: truth, trust, and passion. Wendy and Sandra. Anybody else a 3 in their Lemurian numerology? And you get it by adding together your the day, the month, and the year that you were born, and bringing it all down to 1 digit. So do we have any other 3s? I'm a 5. I'm working on love. So that's good for me too, this card. But the truth, trust, and passion is really interesting that that comes up. Anybody else? No. Do you, Donna, did you get your number? Oh, wait, here we go. What did you get, Donna? You can also put it in the chat. Sorry.
Unmute. So it's the day plus the month plus the year.
Yeah, and take each individual digit and add them up together and bring it down to keep going until you adding them together until you get to one digit.
Mine's a 5.
Yay! I have company today. I love it. Thank you. Lisa's not here, but Lisa's also a 5. So that's great. Thank you, Donna. I love it. So
Thank you.
we're working on love and you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to explain it to you. It's a life journey. So that's the point, right? The point is your Lemurian life path number can tell you a lot about what you're doing here and what you came here to experience. And we can go into astrology and things like that. These are other ways of receiving guidance about yourself and what you're doing here. But the life path number, when you really go into it, you can really discover some interesting things about the self and your journey. So Mahina Ku, you want to share?
Susan is also a 5.
Oh, Susan's a 5. Oh, I just saw that. Oh, great. Oh, I have more company than I thought. Thank you so much, Susan. Susan, thank you. Yeah. So we know what we know that we don't have to share it with each other. But it's so fun. I've been up and down and all around that number. So yeah. So I wanted to talk about the 3 though. Okay. So the 3, Barbara, what's your number? Aren't you a 1?
I'm
No,
a
2.
2.
Yes, 2, right. Which is yeah, also another friend's number. And that's a real balancing factor of, seeing the yin and yang or, yeah. So you can delve into the numerology a little bit on my website. There's a link to the numerology. Also I think in the newsletter, I put a link to the numerology. Um, yeah, and also in a Lemurian prophecy reading, you can get more about that and different aspects of your journey. If you sign up for a reading about that, and you can delve into it a little bit more. The truth, the trust, and the passion. Okay, so this morning I did a automatic writing like I do every morning, and Master Guide Kirill came in and wanted us to know that if we want to get to the number 10 principle, masterminding, which is what I really want to talk about today in setting our intentions for the new year, we have to go to the first 3 principles first. In fact, we have to go to all the principles first to get to 10. And so that means, there's different ways of doing that. You can go truth, trust, and passion and ask yourself, like you said, okay, let's read this a little bit here. Where is, oh, no, this is not it. Okay, that's the other thing I wanted to tell you. When you're going to talk about the final 4 principles, which are the 4 pillars, prayer, meditation, sleep state programming, and masterminding. If we talk about those 4, which I intended to do, and he knew that, it's the first 3 that will get you there: truth, trust, and passion. First, what is your truth? Ask yourself this: what is your truth? And do you really believe it is true that you can consciously create your life? So this really important part, I really get that if I believe it's the truth, that makes it a whole lot easier to get to masterminding the 10th principle. So if I believe that it's true and I trust that truth, I can bring my passion to it. So that also for the 3s present here, and all of us, it kind of, you can expand that into all parts of your life. You know, what is my truth? And do I trust that truth? And how can I bring my passion to it? And sometimes, like I've said before, and it's also, I guess, in the 10 Principles book and sessions, is it's like a three-legged stool. When one is off, like if you don't have the truth set very well, then your stool is going to wobble. You might have the trust and the passion, okay, but what about the truth? For me, it's always the trust factor. You know, I don't know about you, but I know the truth and I have the passion for the truth, but I'm learning to trust that truth and not to doubt that truth, because when you doubt it, or when you have the thoughts like, oh, you know, I don't know, is that really right? You know, things like that. That's a thought that manifests, right? So it can really kind of create a wobbliness in your conscious creation. So it's so important when we create these statements of intention or masterminds that you really have the three principles pretty steady, and you get the thoughts out of your mind like, I could never do that. Release the limitations in your thoughts that tell you you can't do that, or, you know, everybody knows that's not possible. Well, no, really? What do you know? That's the important thing. It's not what everybody else knows, it's what you know. And you're the only one who knows that, right? Because you're the only one who thinks inside your head. Nobody else is in there. I figured that out. You know, I'm as good as anybody having all these thoughts bounce around in there. So focus on the things that you want, not the things you don't want. And the things that you want, you can have them. You deserve them, and there's no limits to you having them, right? So, I mean, I can hear, you know, anybody, not you guys, but anybody else might say, well, what if it's not a good thing? You know, what if it's something bad? No, it doesn't work. And that we learn that in sleep state programming, that it has to be the highest light. It has to come from your heart. And if it isn't, you're going to have to adjust it, right? You're going to learn to adjust it. And that's we could talk about the 9th principle, sleep state programming, because that's super powerful and that helps with the masterminding, the 10th principle. But so it's about, you know, doing it in love and doing it from your heart. And that's the best guide that we can ever have. So what else did Master Kirill say here? It is your thoughts about the truth, trust, and passion that is ever important, because they set your reality. So your reality is set by your truth, trust, and passion. It doesn't matter what anybody else believes or says. It matters what you believe as truth, trust, and passion. And nobody has to know that. You don't have to go out and stand on the roof. Like Master Kirill used to say, don't shout from the rooftops. You don't have to go out there and shout that this is my truth, trust, and passion. No, it's in your head. It's in your own heart that you know your truth, trust, and passion. So Master Kirill goes on to say, you can shift your life at any time. You just need to believe that you can. For in the reality of it, your truth sets the tone for the entire 10 principles and what you believe is possible in life. Love is woven throughout these principles, because when you love yourself enough, you will make the changes that you know need to be made. You will know that you are an honored particle of the Creator Source of all love and light, and you'll consciously create what you desire in life. So I thought that was pretty powerful and pretty clear that we are not separated from the creator force. We are the creator force incarnate. And that really helps me to feel guided and to feel energized to consciously create what I want. So like I said in our last month in December's webcast, I create a whole list of masterminds for each year. And then at the end of the year, I burn the old ones. I actually went outside on my patio and put it in a bowl and burned it, the one from 2024. And then I have the 2025 right there, and I dedicate it and say, these are my intentions. And that doesn't mean that it's set in stone, right? I'm going to go back next week and tweak it and, get all the typos out of there and, clean it up. And I go in, every couple months and say, well, yeah, I got that one. I want to add this one. So it's like a running mastermind statement list for the entire year. And this really helps me to have a focus on what I want. And I might not remember some of the things I put in there in January. And then in December, wow, I got that one. That was great. So, I suggest you don't have to do a novel, but make yourself a list of the things that you feel. And so how do we do that? Those mastermind statements are kind of like what you would call positive affirmations. So you're going to make a present tense. For example, I will give you one that I made for this year. I have, or there is, I can't remember how I said it exactly. There is a successful signature cell healing online workshop on the 22nd, 23rd, and 29th of March, 2025. So those are the dates for the new online signature cell healing workshop, and I think I added to that, there are passionate participants that enjoy learning about signature cell healing, something like that. So the point is it needs to be in present tense, and it needs to be like you have it now. So you're not putting it in the future. You're not putting in the past. It's right here with you now. And you might say, well, it isn't really right here with you now, but it's about the belief and the creation of it. It's about consciously creating it. So as creators, particles of the creator source, we have this ability to consciously create with our thoughts and our intentions and our beliefs. And boy, you can see that in so many ways around in the world. And if you look, especially if you meditate, which is so important these days, is set your meditation time, morning and night. I would say once is probably not enough anymore. Once a day meditations. I'm thinking 2 to 3 times a day are really important to center yourself in love and in your heart and discover, how could you consciously create, or what is the guidance want to communicate with you about that mastermind statement? Because you remember, there are 4 pillars, the last 4, right? Prayer, meditation, sleep state programming, and masterminding. So those other 3 are going to support your masterminds once you get them created. And of course, the best way that Master Guide Carol and Kahu Fred always recommended was doing it with another person. And that is really the true meaning of masterminding, is that you have a mastermind group or another person. And the reason you do that is the middle 3 principles: clarity, communication, and completion. And so if you have a mastermind statement and you share it with, a goddess sister or a friend or, family member, you create a mastermind group, they can reflect the clarity to you. They can ask you questions like, okay, well, what do you mean by that? What can you clarify that? And you have that communication going. So this is why I'm in a mastermind, a goddess mastermind, and you can create one with a family member or with me. If you want to send me a mastermind, I would feed back. I would ask for clarity or, communicate with you on it if you like. KarinnaNielsen.com if you want to do that. Or you know, short of that, we can always use the guidance. So you create that mastermind list and you dedicate it, meditate with it, and allow the guidance to feed back to you, to communicate with you on the clarity of your masterminds. And then you'll have that 6 principle completion. Yeah. So I'm going to stop a moment because there's a whole lot of stuff in there and ask if you have any questions or any comments about that. Yes, Mary Faith.
I think sometimes where I get a little confused with the trust part is that I feel like, okay, so we have our blueprint in our pineal gland. And when I think I want to change something, I think, well, can I really change the blueprint? Isn't the blueprint written in stone? So does it really do any good for me to pray for something different?
Wow, that's a
I
really
mean,
good
really,
question.
yeah, and
No,
that's
no, that's a really good question because we all go there. You know, we all feel that because and the reason is the blueprint that we come in with, the life plan right now, especially in this lifetime, and that life plan, that blueprint has your all your previous lifetimes is also in that blueprint, not just this one, all of them. They're all in there. Imagine that.
wow.
And so that makes this lifetime extremely challenging. And we all knew that before we came in here, especially goddesses. We all knew we were coming at the time of the great shift. And we all know somewhere in your heart, you're going to resonate with what I'm saying right now is this is the last time that we're coming in to be human. So that means we threw everything in that blueprint. We threw everything. And I know I did because I put layers in the blueprint. And when you say, what did you say? Change the blueprint or something. What you do is you heal the blueprint. And that's why signature cell healing is so very important because it focuses on not changing the blueprint, but healing the blueprint. So I know I came in my, just since I met Fred and Master Carol, I came through various layers of that blueprint because I couldn't get to the deeper layers until I had healed the top part and done my third dimensional journey until I was about 42. And that 42, the numerology is a 7 times 6. That's a powerful numerology where most people, especially women, go through a big change at 40, 42. And that's when I met Kahu and Master Carol. So anyway, that opened a new level of my blueprint just by being in their presence and beginning signature cell healing. So I could get to this part where, as most of you know, I got a diagnosis of osteoporosis, arthritis, and blah, blah, blah with my bones, right? So a lot of people would give up at that point and just say, okay, this is just old age, or this is just this or that, right? No, my intention is to heal what's going on for me, and bring myself back into the 4-body balance: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So if the physical is off, then I'm going to start to rebalance and do the journey of healing. So that's what I suggest for everyone when we come to those times where we think, oh, this is just too hard, these people are so awful to me, or I have a really bad problem in my body, or the doctor says this is fatal. Oh God, don't stop. And Kahu always said, never quit, never quit, take another step. And so that's a really good one for me because that's what I've been doing, is taking another step. And I take another step, maybe not in the way that a doctor would tell you to do it. I bring in everything. Me, I'm kind of a passionate healer. So I will bring in everything, all the guidance to understand, okay, what is my next step? What should I do now? And I think everybody can relate to that. We've all been up against the what they call the saran wrap, right? You're up against the saran wrap and you're pushing and you're pushing and it just keeps pushing you back. And you can feel like, oh God, this is awful. What can I do? And then, you know, a lot of people they just give up or whatever. And Master Guy Kirill used to say, go ahead and cry. Go ahead and cry, because sooner or later, after you're finished crying, you're going to stand up and you're going to take another step, because we're all still here. We're all still alive, and we're going to take another step to get through this lifetime, no matter how challenging it feels. The good news is we have signature cell healing. That's number one. And we have the 10 principles, and we know what we know from the Lemurian wisdom that can help us, because that's the whole point. It's the great shift. And we have to heal these things right now. We can't take them into the fourth dimension, into the next dimension. There's not going to be osteoporosis or arthritis in the fourth dimension, you know?
Good.
So I got to heal this now, right? So, you know, the point is we have everything that we need right now to heal what's going on for us. We just have to use it. We just have to avail ourselves of what's there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did I get an answer in there anywhere?
No, that was wonderful. That was
Thank
wonderful
you.
because the word heal is what will be in my mind and in my heart. Heal,
Yeah.
not change.
Yeah, and you're so good at that, Mary Faith. Green goddess, love all about the healing, because the green goddesses, they are the healers, I'm telling you. And you can read about the goddess lights, you know, if you're wondering about your goddess color or your goddess lights, there's a little bit on my website about that as well. But that's such an important part for us as goddesses now at this time, is knowing our goddess color and knowing what our kuleana or our responsibility is in that color and how it affects our lives. Yeah, so healing is the important thing. And what healing means to anyone is individual, right? So healing for me means coming to the next level. It's not like curing. And this is something we talk about in the signature cell healing workshops. It's not curing something. So I'm not curing arthritis. I'm healing arthritis because it's more than just my physical body. In order to get to my physical body, it had to come through the spiritual, the mental, the emotional body, and land in the physical. And it took this many years into my 60s for that to happen. It all had to come down through for me to be at this time to heal it. And I know I can. And boy, I woke up this morning, I felt good. I felt really good. I thought, wow, is this possible? Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. I want to get that thought out of my mind. Like, you know, your body has this muscle memory, right? And if you're hobbling, even though you feel really good, you're still walking like that. So it's important to readjust the physical as well as the mental, emotional, and your connection to the spiritual. So, you know, what's not to love about this journey, ladies, you know? Okay, any other questions about that? So we're at a really important time right now, right? Because it's a new year and everybody's, you know, it's real typical that all around us, there's people saying, okay, dry January, dry January, you know, do something different. You know, change, start an exercise routine, do all of that. So it's all about New Year's resolutions. That's not what this is. These are not resolutions. These are masterminds and these are intentions. And it's not like you're going to do this for, you know, a week, like they say, and then the resolution is off. It's not like that. These are something that you can work with throughout the year. And I'm not talking about you're gonna go in and change yourself. You're gonna do that. You make the statement and you use the 4 pillars to guide you through it. And it's gonna happen for you because you're visualizing it, you're seeing it already done. So the energy is drawn to it. It's not something you really have to do. What you have to do, I would say, is meditate. That's a really important part to get the guidance of, how maybe you could tweak that or what your next step is. You're not alone in this journey. You're surrounded by your guidance. So that blueprint, that life plan that you put in the pineal gland in the signature cell, you didn't make that up yourself. We make that up with all our guides and all our angels, and everything comes together, and then they walk the journey with us. So we're never alone. And you can always avail yourself of that guidance, right? So we have some time now to do a meditation. So are there any questions before we do meditation? Oh, first I want to read that quote from Kahu that I put in the newsletter and on the website. Kahu Fred, and that's in the book that's up there. I'm going to try and get this right. The book up there, the Signature Cell Healing book. You are a particle of the Creator, and you have its full authority to have whatever you want, whenever you want it. So set the stage for it and move forward. Wake up every morning with the knowledge that what you desire is on its way to you. Your only concern should be what you will do today to ensure that it gets here exactly as you have envisioned it. I love that quote. That really says it all, because when we wake up every morning knowing that it's on the way to us, then we're going to celebrate that, and we're going to draw it more and more to us, this energy of love that we want to create in our lives. And only our thoughts can keep it from us by saying, that's not possible, or I can't do that. It's about seeing it the way you want it to be. So it's not positive thinking. We're not talking about that really. We're talking about visioning it, seeing it as you want it to be. Okay? So that'll set us up for this meditation. So everybody just get real comfortable and take some nice deep breaths and feel the golden particles now coming through your crown chakra as you inhale through the nose, and allow those golden particles to come through the pineal gland, the signature cell. And now this time they turn into white light as it comes through the blueprint in the signature cell in the pineal gland. And you draw that white light down into your heart chakra. And with the exhale, it just expands, starts to expand out from the physical to the emotional, to the mental, to the spiritual body. And you feel yourself surrounded in this beautiful light of love. And so just continue to breathe and see before you this door, and written on it is the number 2025. And that door is already a little bit open. So as you reach for the doorknob, just turn around and look behind you at 2024. And just know that that is complete now. And whatever you did in this past year was just perfect. It's all complete. And you have a new opportunity now to step forward into a new year. So take a deep breath and honor where you've been. Open the door to 2025 and enter this new room. And close the door behind you. And when we enter a new room, it's oftentimes dark, not so easy to see, right? But as you stand there, things start to become a little clearer. And now you start to see in your mind's eye these new visions of light that you are creating consciously in this new year. So take a moment and start to see that new car, or maybe you see a new person in your life. Maybe you see a different way of being for yourself in the world. Maybe you see family and friends that are just loving relationships that you have. Whatever it is your intention and your mastermind to see in this new year, begin to see it coming into more clarity for you. And you see that there's a sofa there, there's a couch. So sit down on the sofa and just get comfortable, because this is a year, right? You're going to be in this room for a while. And you're going to consciously create it. And as you sit there, you notice that across from you is a big, big TV screen. And on that TV screen, you can see whatever it is that didn't fit into this room. For me, I see world peace. I see peace on earth. I see an ascending planet that is enveloped in the goddess light. Maybe you see something for yourself in your life, a new place to live. See it now. Get it really clear and get any doubts out of your mind. Just trust and believe that you deserve this, and you are creating it now with your guidance, with your own heart. To see it in love and send a line of light from your heart now to these various things that you are consciously creating and that you're masterminding. And just see it connect and energize each of these things. And know this is an important part of the masterminding, that you, on a regular basis, visualize, vision, connect with what it is you're consciously creating. And now just trust that you deserve these things, that you're ready to receive them. And settle in on that couch and get very comfortable, because you're going to return here whenever you like to imagine. And this can be a room in your sanctuary of inspiration, like we learn in signature cell healing, the room for 2025, or it can be just a room you come to in meditation. And just know you can come back here at any time that you like. So slowly and gradually now, Start to feel yourself sitting where you began the meditation and come back into our gathering. Okay, so in other meditations, I've asked you to open the door and go out of the room, but you're in the room. We're all in this room for a year. This is our 9 year. And I've been looking forward to this year for a long time. I love the 9 because it's so great to have new beginnings and to have the energy to uphold that. It's a great time for masterminding. So any comments or any shares from that meditation? Yeah, Tatiana, go ahead. Wait, here we go.
You just read my mind. The same thing at the end of meditation. I thought, why we're not leaving the room? And then say to myself, stop. We don't want to go back in 2024. No, we want to stay here. It's very interesting. And I saw something additional, but I don't know what I saw. Something additional when I sitting in a couch. It was like like when you're buying something like with a price, like a tag. I saw that tag.
Like a braid, like a weave.
Mhm. Yeah. No, it's not a braid. It's just like a tag, like a paper tag, something. But I didn't see what it says.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's like, when you're buying the stuff, you have like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
tag
yeah.
or
Oh, wow. I'd like to know what
okay.
that said. Go back into meditation and let me know what that was. That's
Okay.
cool. I like that. I love that. Thank you, Tatiana. Anybody else? Yeah, Mahinaku, go ahead.
Yesterday we went to this 4,000 acre ranch on was on more the north side of the island called Kualoa.
Nice.
And there are just such beautiful views from this ranch. Families visiting from California. And what I saw in the meditation was more, I saw the sights of the ranch, but the feeling I got was your peace on earth.
Oh,
Was
that's so beautiful.
so wonderful. Even now, I'm getting angel bumps.
Ooh,
It
very good.
was just beautiful. And
Oh,
it's a 4,000 acre ranch. And they do, the movies and stuff. They'll do a lot of movies. I think there's
Jurassic
like, I don't
Park.
know,
Yeah, they
50
filmed.
movies that were done there. And anyway, so
I
that
think,
was, thank you very much.
thank you for sharing that. That's just a sacred part of this island. I love
Yes,
Kualoa.
yes, Vahipana.
It's a Vahipana. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, thank you. Anybody else want to share? I love it. I love that. I'm going to use that meditation. I just made it up while we were doing it. I'm going to do it myself. Yeah, I like that. And I like the part of visioning. Barbara, thank you. Mahalo, Karinna, for guiding us into a new year. I feel and share your enthusiasm for the year ahead. Gather the goddess light and let's make it a wonderful year. Yay! I love that. Yeah, the goddess light is so important and to remember um, why we're here as goddesses. And, I just had, let me just share briefly a lady, she wouldn't be coming on a webinar, I don't think, or a webcast. She's 77 years old and she lives in Philadelphia, and she is an old soul that somehow found me, and she's a beautiful blue goddess from just a wise old soul. And we had a Lemurian goddess reading together, and she confirmed that she's a blue goddess and all the interesting things about Lemuria that she knew already, but just had different words. Like I use different terminology. She had the words for it. Just a blessing. So there are so many goddesses now that are awakening to our journey here, why we're here, and what we're here to do. And what we're here to do is shift this planet into love. And we do that by focusing on our own journeys first, right? And that emanates out to the world. So thank you. Thank you all so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And I'm feeling so good about this coming year and all the changes. We're going to see a lot of new beginnings, right? I want you to know that the next Heart to Spirit Connections webinar will be the first Saturday in February. That's the February 1st. So sign up for my newsletter so you don't miss it. And that'll have also the information about the global healing meditation from Mother Earth, which is going to be this month on the 11th of January. And by the way, that just happens to be, according to Master Guide Kirill, Mary Magdalene's birthday. So we're going to celebrate Mary Magdalene and the Global Healing Meditation for Mother Earth on the 11th of January. And also, if you always wondered about signature cell healing, there's a great online workshop coming up, and it'll be for 3 times, 2 Saturdays and 1 Sunday. So it's the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 29th of March, 3 hours each time. And we take breaks, so it's not a big deal, and that time goes really fast. So please join me. Even if you're have taken it before, there's a special discount for graduates. And if you are a graduate of another signature cell healing workshop, maybe from before, even with Kahu Fred, we have a graduate review class every month on the 3rd Saturday, which, thank you, Mahina Ku and Mary Faith and Wendy and Sandra and Tatiana and everybody for being part of that class. We do great stuff every month and review different signature cell healing techniques. So if you take the online workshop, you can get into the graduate class, which is a real good perk. And so we have that every month. So I hope you'll join me at the workshop. And also, tomorrow is the Honolulu Church of Light Sunday Healing Service. So if you want to learn more about the 5 breath self-healing meditation, I do a little presentation every church service. And there's healing. You can submit your name for a distance healing during the service. Please go to signaturecellhealing.com for the link to the online feed for that. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow and again next month. Thanks so much for being with me. Aloha from Lemuria and a happy, happy New Year. Bye-bye.